There are quite a few high-stakes elections happening this year in Michigan, but you might not know about one of the biggest questions expected on the ballot. 13 on your side, political reporter Josh Albertus explains how that one question could lead to a total rewrite of our state's constitution.
The Michigan Constitution, nearly 100 pages of code ruling over the state as its law of the land, second only to federal law.
But what if this whole thing was thrown out and redone? That could soon be the case, but that depends on voters' answer to a big question set for this year.
Since 1850, the Michigan Constitution has required that at a periodic time, every 16 years, there be a constitutional convention question presented to voters.
Here's how a Michigan Constitutional Convention, or CONCON, works. If a majority votes in favor of a convention, voters would then be faced with another election to decide whom they will send to it. One delegate would be elected from each state House district and each state Senate district for a modern total of 148 delegates.
They can consider the whole thing. They can propose whatever amendment they want to the Constitution. They can shred the Constitution and totally start from scratch if they want to.
Those delegates would meet on the first Tuesday of the next October, or earlier if the law allows.
They're able to meet for, whatever period of time within reason is ultimately to facilitate agreement on something.
Whatever new amendments or constitution that the majority of delegates agree on would then need to be put to statewide voters for final approval.
But if they don't end up agreeing, then nothing is ultimately submitted to the voters for their consideration.
But such a convention hasn't happened in Michigan since the early 1960s. In fact, in November of 2010, the question was voted down by a margin of roughly 2-1.
It's possible, I think, that with a very aggressive campaign to vote yes, that voters might be inclined to do that. But in a situation like this, where voters are voting yes for something very uncertain, and the other option is no, I don't want uncertainty, it's really easy to understand why no almost always wins, unless there's some sort of, really widespread dissatisfaction with the Constitution.
Josh Albertus, 13 on your side.